let's just move past the hair for this video. I got a bun helper, so this is my first time trying it out. Yeah, it's a mess. And my hair's like flapping out. Anyways, let's move on. Hello everybody, thank you for tuning into this video. Welcome back to my channel. I've been so crazy busy with student teaching that I feel like I haven't gotten any new videos up, and it's crazy, but no, and I am wearing very natural makeup today. I literally just threw on my Bare Minerals, put on some Tarte Exposed blush, put on some mascara, and did my brows, and that was like it. But I do have these products that I love to use. These are the best primers and setting sprays ever if anybody's curious. But anyways, in this video I just wanted to talk about working for Sephora or at Sephora. So I just worked for Sephora, or worked at Sephora, whatever you want to call it, over the holiday season. So I just kind of wanted to share my experience if you were somebody who was thinking about applying ever, or you wanted a job like that, just my experience and what happened and what my opinion of it was. So if you're interested, just keep on watching. If not, you can just click right out of this video, but I'm just going to go straight into this. So I worked as a seasonal employee over the holiday season. So my employment was from November until kind of the middle of January, and I'll get more into that later, why I'm because it was just strange. But so I worked seasonally as a cashier. So I guess I'll just start with the uniform that we had to wear. We had to wear black slacks with solid black shoes. They recommended flats, black slacks. They gave us a black t-shirt that said Sephora in white letters on the back, and we were able to wear a black long sleeve shirt under that. Yeah, so that's all for the uniform. And then you can there is makeup requirements. You have to wear something on your complexion, whether it's tinted moisturizer, powder foundation, liquid foundation, whatever. You have to have something on your complexion to even it out. You have to be wearing either blush, bronzer, or highlight. You have to have a tinted lip balm at the very least. As far as eyes go, you have to be wearing 2 eyeshadows and mascara, and if not, then at least eyeliner and mascara. So there is some requirements for that. What else? As far as jewelry goes, you can wear just about anything for jewelry. You can have any hair color. Yeah, but as far as those makeup requirements go, those were the minimum requirements, but I felt if you did less than that, you were almost looked down upon. Although there are people who have supernatural makeup, especially at my store. I'm in Nebraska, so we're not in New York or something where you have to be super done up. You can do your hair just about any way you want to, as long as it's out of your face. You could wear little necklaces if you wanted to. You could wear 2 rings tops. Yeah, when you work there, they give you a little plastic bag. They give you a Sephora mirror with your name and stuff on it. Then in that little bag, you can carry 5 cosmetics total. They want it from, no matter if it's from Sephora or somewhere else, you can have 5 total makeup items in that bag. And you always have to get it checked before and after you leave, blah, 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 things like that. But my experience, I only worked there over the weekends, so Saturdays, Sundays. I was working some Friday nights, but it was just too much with my other job. So I worked Saturdays and Sundays, 4-hour shifts. And during the holiday season, for the most part, I did work, mostly every Saturday and Sunday. After Christmas, it kind of slowed down, so it was just a Saturday or a Sunday. But, let me think. They don't expect you to know, everything, but it just felt really awkward when, me, I'm into education and teaching, so I really didn't have a whole lot of experience with the cashiering and things like that. So every time I had a question, and it sucked because I always worked on the busy times. I was on shifts where we were always busy, so it sucked. If I had a question, I was basically disrupting the whole front area of cashiers because, the managers, they just didn't have the time to help me, and so it was just kind of awkward to have to experience that when, the customers, they're pretty understanding and, okay with that. I mean, they, especially, they see your uniform, they know you're not in the tunic and everything, you don't have, a name tag, so they do understand that. It's just frustrating whenever the returns are super difficult and the policies are weird. So then you sometimes have to pull a manager in to override something that just isn't working. And then all the different returns and exchanges, it can be very, very confusing. And it just feels uncomfortable whenever you have to have help and people just don't have time to help. So they kind of you kind of feel like you're SOL sometimes. But that was one of the more downsides. I feel like this video is going to be so negative because, like, all I'm talking about is, like, the downer parts. There was one weekend where I got thrown into fragrance, and I literally know nothing about fragrance. Thankfully, we weren't that busy. It was a Friday night, but sometimes you just get thrown places, and you're on recovery, and you just don't know where things go or don't know what things are. You have to order things online, or if you're on the mobile checkout, and it kicks you off, and it's really awkward because they're in a hurry, and so then you just have to go through a register anyways, and it's just not fun. Gosh, this is so negative of a video. I'm so sorry. It is a great place to work if you were, like, into the cosmetic industry, or if it's life path that you were going on, or if you just, like, know high-end cosmetics in and out. Like, if you have been in Sephora a bajillion times, you are probably good to go because you know where products are, you know what they are, you know, like, every single brand. Like me, before that, I dabbled in high-end makeup, but I'm mostly into, like, drugstore makeup. I've gotten more into high-end makeup, but for me, like, I order a lot of things online, to be honest, so for me, I had to find some things sometimes, and it was just so hard when things are constantly out of stock that you need to be in stock, and things like that, and you just can't help them, or, like, when you're, I don't know, gosh, this is such a negative video, I hate that. Like, the good thing was, like, it's a great place to work if you have really awesome managers that are super friendly, easy to approach, and they speak to you in a way that you don't feel, like, stupid or anything like that. And especially, like, the others, like, I was always working with seasonal employees, or, like, one or two of the main employees. Like, there was so many seasonal employees, and they were really, really friendly. They're nice girls, so it was great to work with them. It's just, like, when you feel like you know a certain supervisor does not like you, it is just so uncomfortable, so uncomfortable. You're afraid to ask them questions because you know that they're going to look down on you, or when you make a mistake and that supervisor's there, you know they're going to come down on you. And just when they're explaining, like, it's almost like they call you out in front of everybody. Like, I'd finally, like, learned how to do returns and exchanges for the most part without help, and I messed up just a couple of them, or should have given store credit or whatever, so I couldn't put that back on the card. And so it was the one supervisor that I could tell, like, I honestly don't know if it's just the way she comes off, if she was like that to everybody, or if it was because, like, she thought I was just incapable of doing anything. But it feels really awkward when they, like, just call you out in front of everybody, like, not on purpose, but, like, you can't do this for this, which I understand. I totally get that that's a conversation that has to happen. It just feels awkward when there's everybody around you and they're the only person that treats you that way. It's like, ugh. That is part of the reasons why I'm glad my time was only seasonal, because I didn't have to deal with that. Because, like, my field is education. I am not into retail. I do love makeup, so that's why, and beauty, so that's why I decided to apply seasonally. And, I knew a couple people at the store already, so, I kind of had a little bit of an in there, but it was like, whew, oh my goodness. Like, I did know a few of the managers because they knew people that knew me, so they were friendlier to talk to. But, like, when that other one was around, she would just stare me down, and it was just awkward and uncomfortable. I felt like I could not approach her. Whew. Yeah, sorry, this is such a negative video, and I don't mean for it to be that way, because Sephora can be a fantastic place to work. Like, if you can pick up on things really quick, like, part of the problem I think for me was I was only there Saturdays and Sundays, so it was almost like retraining every time I was there. Like, there was always something new that I had to learn. And the other thing was, like, when they had contests and things like that, they didn't tell me until, like, an hour before my shift ended. Like, there was biggest basket contest or skincare contest, things like that, and no supervisor would tell me about it. Like, they would literally, like, one night I remember I was there, it was an evening, and my shifts were 4 hours long. 3 hours into my shift, like, the lead in cash wrap, then I was, like, asking this other employee, like, oh, hey, can you tell her about the thing? I'm like, how can I even do that? Like, participate if it's an hour till and we're, like, dead? Like, it just rubbed me the wrong way, how it's like, maybe you were busy earlier, but you just can't be like, oh, hey, can you go tell her this? Like, I wasn't important enough to tell. And I get that, like, I was only seasonal, so I was temporary, but I just felt like after the first few weeks, they just, like, were done with me, which is a fine vibe to have. And, like, going into that, like, so you accept your position, then you, like, check your schedule and everything, but then, like, there was no set time where they literally said, okay, seasonal's over, like, we already have our permanent positions filled. Like, there was no one ever, like, told me for sure when I was done, and maybe that was because they didn't know. Like, I do remember one day, I hadn't worked in, like, 2 weeks just because the season was slowing down. It was like the middle of January and I had one shift and I was like, well, to me it just felt awkward to be there because I felt like I didn't even belong there anymore. But it was like that morning I was just double checking on my shift and then like it shows a little dot and it was gone. So I was like, okay, well maybe they are cutting seasonal. That would make perfect sense. I haven't been there in 2 weeks to work, so that makes perfect sense. And they finally called me saying my shift was canceled, which was fine. And so then like there was never a, okay, that shift is canceled. We definitely do not need you anymore. Thank you for working with us. There was never anything like that for me. But I honestly just stopped checking the schedule because I hadn't worked in 3 weeks. And normally when you don't work in 3 weeks, you're like, okay, good, I'm done. So I just kind of moved on, which was fine because I think I was ready to. Because I started student teaching, which is a full-time job in itself, even though you're not getting paid. And my mind just wasn't there. My head wasn't in it, which is totally fine. I was kind of relieved about that. It was just, there was such a lack of communication and expectations. Like, I don't know, like, I want to try to, like, shine the light on the good things about working there. Like, the people there are nice for the most part. Really friendly to talk to. The seasonal girls were really, really nice. Some of the people I did know from high school, like the permanent employees, so they did talk to me here and there. But, like, it was nice to learn about new products, but I just felt like I was, like, given busy work a lot of the time. So, yeah, I mean, everyone I know talks it up like crazy how it's their dream job, but in all reality, it is, like, if you are not obsessed with makeup, then I would not suggest working there. Maybe it was just my specific store, but you have your trainings, your daily dose videos, and eventually, in my last couple weeks, I didn't watch them anymore because I knew I probably wasn't going to be kept on, and they didn't say anything. Like, in the beginning, they're like, have you watched your daily dose? Have you gotten your trainings for the day? I'm like, yeah, awesome. They're like, okay, you need to know this, this, and this. And after a while, they're just like, we're not going to tell you anything anymore because you're just not important enough. Which I know that sounds terrible, but that's just like what it felt like for me. I feel like I'm so scatterbrained with this video that is now more organized, and I'm so sorry. I mean, this was just my personal experience. Like, in the beginning, I was really excited. It was some extra income. It was, like, nice to work at Sephora, to be around all that makeup. But, I don't know. And you do have a nice little discount, which I'm not going to disclose too much just because I don't want to get in trouble. But, for me, like, part of the reason why I had to stop making beauty videos was because I was working at Sephora, so I didn't want to, like, say anything that I shouldn't say. But now that I'm done, I feel absolutely free to make whatever videos I want, whether it's drugstore, high-end, and I love drugstore makeup. That was part of the problem was, I know I had a discount, but I just could not afford to buy some of the makeup still because it is so expensive. But I mean, I didn't even, like, literally, my shift was gone and I went straight out the door. Like, I know I can't spend money because I am getting married in June, so I need to save up as much as possible. But yeah, I mean, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them below, and I would be more than happy to make any more videos on this experience because I just can't think of specific things to say except for my experience, which it wasn't bad. It was just by the end of it, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm ready to move on. I know it was only seasonal. So I worked from, like, the middle to end of November to the beginning or middle of January. And so, yeah, that was just kind of my experience. So I'm glad to be back on YouTube, just doing the things that I want to do, making the videos that I want, being able to say whatever I want about makeup. And I would never, like, I don't try to badmouth them. It was just, like, my experience was kind of, like, up and down. And, yeah. I definitely do still love makeup. I love beauty. I love talking about makeup products, but I'm just not the person to work in a store and sell them to you. I just like to be able to talk freely about whatever makeup I want, so I am glad. I mean, it was a good opportunity to learn a lot, but I just felt like eventually, like, they didn't care that I was there, and I was like, okay, like, that's just the vibe I got. But I really I don't want to discourage anybody who'd be interested in working for Sephora. I mean, it's a great experience, and it can be very, very glamorous, but yeah. So that's all I have to say for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it. Definitely leave comments below on anything you'd want to know about, and I'd be happy to answer them for you. And I'll be getting some new videos up soon. Possible Valentine's Day makeup, February favorites. I'm just kidding. It's like still the beginning of February, but I do have some more videos coming, and I'd be super happy to, you know, put them up soon. So yeah, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you if you follow me on Instagram or Twitter. I have not been, like, active at all on those, and I'm so sorry, but thank you for following me. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It's completely free. It won't cost you a cent just to stay updated on videos, and I will see you all later. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.